I would venture to say that most people in the First Check Challenge at this point have not done enough marketing to get the results that they really are seeking. So what advice do you give them at this point?
I mean, on the basis of just continuing, it's really just that, like, just keep going. You know, like, I look at it like this. If you want to go,
much work needed, how much work is needed, time and effort?
I mean, it depends on how efficient your work is, right? Like, I think that my suggestion would be, if you're working, if you can be, look in the mirror and be honest with yourself about how much you're actually working. If you can work 1 to 2 hours more than that, if you can find time for that, then I think that you're going to be really getting a good ball rolling. But you have to be actually working. I mean, we were looking in the mirror and we were like, or looking at each other and we were like, what are you actually doing? Can you tell me what you did today? And the reality is no, because I was kind of all over the place. I was learning 40 to 2 other things. I was doing all this other stuff, you know, so actual work time is what it takes. And you have to be realistic with yourself about what you're doing before you say, oh, I can't do this anymore. Because if you can stay consistent, it will be what you think it's going to be, for sure.
and by work time, she means talk time.
Yeah.
Like you can work 24 hours a day, getting stuff set up and dialed in and your systems in place and stuff like that. But that's not what's making you money.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be on the phone or taking in leads one way or the other. So if you've got money and you've got capital, then focus on getting your PPC dialed in, get with Ethan, let him set your stuff up so you can take that guesswork out of it, and get on there with $50 a day.
I was going to say 25. So
I would say go $50 a day, but get on there with $50 a day. This is if you can afford it, and let that marinate for, a little bit. And then, use Ethan, use the people that you have around you, reach out to us, reach out to Brandon. That's one of the best things.
If we didn't have the team behind us that we do, without a shadow of a doubt, we would not be sitting here saying we have $300,000 in the pipeline if it wasn't for the many members of the Syndicate 9 family, Brandon, Sean, that whole network. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be doing this right now. There's no way we would have survived those hurdles, and that everything is like this other challenge you have to fix, and learning how to fix those things you can't just figure out on your own. You can sometimes, but having somebody else solidify that your idea of fixing it is the right idea is really helpful. So don't be afraid to ask for help.
I mean, yeah, that would just keep going. Like, just keep going.
I would definitely get my website going and the PPC started, like you said, marinating, even on a low level, while you're still calling and talking to people, because once that starts trickling in, it's a game changer.
Can I ask what?
Go ahead, Albie.
Sorry, how long once your website and PPC was dialed in? I know you went through the process a while back, but your PPC wasn't properly focused from the time that I don't know, was it at that time you were working with Ethan or someone else to get it dialed in right?
Yeah, we work with so many different people. It seems like before I actually had an understanding of what
which one worked.
Sean. It was Sean. It was begging and begging and begging, and like, why is this not working? And I think he finally was like, and jumped on a Zoom with us. And I mean, Sean's an amazing guy. And he was like, Will, what the hell are you doing? Why does this look like this?
We're getting leads right away. I mean,
we were getting
leads.
Question
was how fast did we get leads? We got leads right away. Those first 3 contracts or whatever that fell through, those were from PPC. Those weren't from cold calling. So we were getting leads. We just weren't getting them to the finish line. So they come in.
I will tell you, on PPC, I made the mistake of every time Google made a suggestion, I was like, sure, yeah, at the keyword.
Hey, that's in the video. Don't do that. It says that in the video.
My hand after doing that, and I blew through like $30,000.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's so much value in utilizing the people around you. And then you just got to figure out where you're at financially, because that's so different for everybody.
Mhm.
And so to say one thing works for us, who, we had a little bit of money in the bank, we burned through a lot of that, but as opposed to somebody who's trying to do this based off their 9 to 5, like, it's doable. It might take you a little longer, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
Mhm.
I kind of looked at it like this, like, you can go in and you can buy a McDonald's for $1 million and some change, and they just hand you the keys at the end of the day and say, here, this is a running, business. Just keep it going. With this, you don't have to put in that millions of dollars. This is one of the lowest entry fee businesses that I've ever come across in my whole life. The one thing that it seems to take more than the majority of these businesses that you spend $1 million on is you're going to spend that $1 million in sweat equity. Like, you can build this to where it does it all for you. I don't know what Brandon's system is, but Sean, a handful of other friends that we've got, they check in a couple times a week, and I don't know what they're doing the rest of the time, living their life, I guess. But I know that their companies run with them checking in a handful of times a week. So you can get to that point, but you either got to buy it and open a Starbucks or a McDonald's, or you got to put in the work. Let's get some real estate done, and we'll all sit on the beach together somewhere.